These players are so overrated. We just came from a draw against Girona at home, a match we should have won. This should have been the easiest 3 points ever, and that is actually the issue. The issue is, why do we have all the best players in the world? We have Kylian Mbappé, Jude Bellingham, Vini Jr., star names, superstars, players who are all above 100 million euros. They're all valued high, they're all paid high, but why does it seem like they play worse than all the other teams? Like when it comes to the upper echelon of Europe, the top teams like the PSGs, Bayern Munichs, we are just not on their level. It's as simple as that. We are not on their level. And if you think we are on their level, you are delusional, and you are also maybe a bit biased, or you don't even watch other football, because we are not on that level. The teams like Bayern Munich, which, listen, Bayern Munich are gonna knock us out. They're gonna destroy us and send us home. But against teams like that, PSG, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, I think even Barcelona, those are teams that are way better than us. They are levels and leagues above us. And do you wanna know the reason why we are not on their level? It's because we have these two players, Vini Jr. and Kylian Mbappé. Now you saw on the thumbnail, you already know what this video is about. It's about them. They are so overrated. And they are overrated in terms of their overall game, because they are the best players in the world. It's as simple as that. Their skill is unmatched, finishing is unmatched. Them as individuals are the best, Ballon d'Or level, but they are not good team players. Now the thing about a team is, you can afford to have one player like that. You can afford to have one player that's not pressing. Maybe have Mbappé alone or Vini Jr. alone. But the issue is when you have two of them in the same team. And this gets us to an even bigger conversation. What is Perez doing? What the living hell is Perez doing? He's just signing superstars. His focus is just superstars, marketing. He also wants to bring in a sporting director. Now, a sporting director is good. I'm not gonna put that with the fact that he signs players just for the marketing and just for all that other stuff. But you can see his priorities are on a club level. It's not really on a team level. He doesn't really care who he brings in, as long as they're a big name, can sell shirts. And I think that is a massive issue. And I think if we move forward with that mentality, we're gonna end up almost like Manchester United. As a matter of fact, I don't think we ever gonna reach the top level of Europe ever again. Don't think we're gonna win the Champions League ever again, as long as we have Mbappé and Vini Jr. in the same starting 11. And can I tell you another thing? We actually need to sell the both of them. We need to get rid of the both of them. The reason why is, we have other world-class midfielders who work hard and are team players. So I don't think the midfield is that big of an issue. We have hard-working midfielders. But we need a leader. We need someone who plays above them in attack, that puts in just as much effort, who can also score goals. Matter of fact, I would say bring Ousmane Dembele in, but that's unrealistic. So I would say look in the market for where you can sign a player who's a striker, who can score goals, who can also press. That is all we need. And he can play alone up top. We can play 5 midfielders and just have him up top. But having both Mbappé and Vini, it's a massive issue. And if you disagree with me, I'm not gonna say you're an idiot, but I'm gonna say, listen to this, what Luis Enrique had to say about Mbappé. So Enrique, he's the coach of PSG. He's the reason why they are so fantastic and are overall the best team in the world. They're gonna do a double. They're gonna win the Champions League yet again. So about 2 years ago, they had Mbappé in their team, and their team was not that good. They would always make it to the semis or the quarterfinals or the round of 16s and then get knocked out. They always had the star names, but they didn't have the players who played for the badge. And as soon as Enrique came in, he picked up on this. He knew we can't just have superstars who score goals and play for their individual performances. We need players who are gonna run and be leaders. So this is what he said last year in February. Mbappé was already halfway in at Real Madrid. He was already at Real Madrid and he was in good form at the time. But this is what Enrique had to say. I was very brave last season when I told you that we would be a better team in attack and defense. I still think that we are better. The numbers are there to say it. The players took it as a challenge. Of course, we would love to have had Kylian in the team because everyone loved him. So can I stop it quickly there? You can see Enrique, he didn't have a massive issue with Mbappé. And he played Mbappé because everyone loved him. The fans loved him. The teammates loved him. But he knew overall Mbappé was not going to lead to the full-blown success of PSG. He continues to say, but the team is responding at a spectacular level. I told you that rather than having a player who scores 40 goals, I wanted players who all score a lot. Faced with a situation that we did not want, but which happened, the maturity of the team is very good. So he's overall explaining how PSG, they didn't want Mbappé to go, but he says the new players and the players in the team who were there even with Mbappé Without him, they matured and they handled the situation well. They started playing and making up for Mbappé leaving the team. Now this what he said next is the absolute most important thing that you guys have to listen to. All of you guys that say I'm an Mbappé hater and I'm not a Real Madrid fan, I just hate Mbappé. Listen to this, what Luis Enrique, two-time Champions League winner, listen to what he had to say about Mbappé. He has to be important for the team, not just scoring goals. To score a goal, someone has to give you an assist. What we are looking for with Usman is for him to continue to be a determining player with assist and defensive efforts. That last few words that he said, and defensive efforts, he just buried Mbappé completely. And I know in the media he's trying to keep peace with Mbappé, he doesn't want to trash him too much. But that told me a lot. Defensive efforts. He straight up just exposed a problem that we've been talking about for so long. Mbappe's defensive efforts are abysmal. It's non-existent. And that's what he said next. You guys have to listen to this as well. Becoming a leader of the team is not just about scoring goals. Being a leader is something different. I believe Usman very clearly can become one of the leaders of the team. Now he said this in February 2025. They didn't even win a Champions League yet. But you see how that came into fruition. Guys, do you guys understand? I'm not trying to be like an emotional person and just want to say, oh, I hate Mbappé, I hate him and all this stuff. I'm not trying to be that type of person. But I can tell you that without Mbappé, look at that Man City match, look at that Atletico match. I referenced it many times in previous videos, I'm not going to go too deep into it. We played better. We played better as a team, as a collective, with Pitaj, Brahim, Order. Bro, they were playing as a team. That is the football I want to see from Real Madrid. If you put that Real Madrid against Bayern Munich or PSG, maybe they would lose, but they would compete. At least compete. And now since Mbappé has returned to the starting 11, we've gone winless in the past 3 matches. We lost to Mallorca, we lost to Bayern Munich, and we drew now against Girona. And you want to know why that happens. You want to understand why. Because I know many of you guys don't understand and you guys always question me saying, how does one player make the entire team bad? How can you just blame Mbappé? It's valid. It's valid what you guys are saying. And I understand where you're coming from. When we play with him, us as a collective is not good. Defensively, we're not good. Even in the distribution of the ball, the way we play, it looks very messy. It just looks so disorganized. It looks like everyone is just trying to do something. It's too much disorganized football. And I think it's Mbappe's style. His style does not match this team's football. I can tell you which team Mbappe's style does fit. It's France. Under Didier Deschamps, it works. It clearly works. Look at when he plays in the World Cups and they overall build the team around him. Real Madrid are not built around him. Before, we would just have Vini to pass to, and he was a team player. He would look for openings, look for Bellingham, Benzema, whoever it would be, and he would get the pass through and assist. The problem now is, you pass to Mbappé and not the same thing happens. Yes, he passes around, but his plays don't make sense. Benzema, with him in the team, we were a threat. We were one of the best teams in the world. And even without him, we had Bellingham instead, being the Benzema type of player. Yes, he was in midfield, but he was still acting as a 9. Even having that was working better than what we are doing now. We look hopeless in attack. And I'm gonna leave you guys with this. Real Madrid need to go into the market and sign humble players who play for the badge, who are not afraid to run around. We need humble players, that's what I think, not this glory hunting players. But either way, tell me your thoughts in the comment section. I will be reading, I will be responding. If you enjoyed, smash a like on the video, it truly helps with the channel, I would truly appreciate it. Subscribe if you have not subscribed, go hit the subscribe button. But either way, peace out.